We are back in the bearded garage here today. This is what the motor looks like once the exhaust system is removed. I'm going to walk through all the steps it took to get this off. Relatively simple. There we go. One thing I'm doing quick here is I'm taking the muffler system off. So looks like the O2 sensor here feeds up through here with this grommet, and it lays actually in this channel here. The other O2 sensor, which is actually the one here, so there's actually two. So the farther one back actually comes up through right there, through that grommet. And as you see, that wire comes up, there's the other one here. So rather than disconnect these right now, I'm probably just gonna push them back through so I can get them all the way out. On the other side of the motor, we've got, these are the O2 sensors here. They are coming up through this grommet and they're connected here. So just for clarity, it's a lot easier if you push these down than if you try pushing from the bottom, because you don't want this rubber thing stuck here when you're trying to pull the rest of the muffler system off. Now, I could probably take out the O2 sensors before I do this, but this way it seems like I'm gonna have it on the bench and then I can work on the O2 sensors the way I want. So that's it. So now this is just about disconnected. The last step in removing the muffler system from this 993 motor is actually these straps here. So the straps are actually held on by this. Now, that is a rusty ass bolt. So the problem is when you try to twist it, this will actually torque in your hand, so it won't actually work very well. So what I've actually found works pretty well, so bear with me so I can get some, got some light here. What I found that works pretty well is something as simple as this. So all I'm gonna do is carefully buff this nut here, or the bolt here. As you can see, it starts to get cleaner and cleaner. And then I will turn it a little bit and then buff it again, and it'll actually come out pretty darn easy, almost easy actually. So, all right, to give you another view of what's going on here, I have buffed that up a little bit. And then you hit it with your favorite penetrating. I will tell you, I see a lot of people using PB Blaster, but this Aero Coil stuff is actually pretty damn amazing. Probably see that in half my videos I talk about it. So what it actually requires to do this job is there is a hex nut, 6 mil, I believe, on the bottom here. And as you go to twist it, you see how it tweaks back and forth. Once that strap has a little bit of tension released from it, it just pops back and forth. So you can, on the other side, put a 13 mil nut. Sometimes this nut will actually break free. I think it's actually tack welded here. So if it breaks free, you can actually just buzz this nut off, who cares? But if this is still stuck here, buzzing this off is actually kind of a pain. So, so I'm gonna actually, can't do it with the phone in my hand. I'm gonna hold one side, I'm gonna crank it a little bit, I'm gonna buff the other side, give it a little more lube, and then it should come off pretty easy. All right, so the last piece is, now you can see I got this strap removed. Simply, all I did here, let's see if I can get that in. There you go, zoom baby, zoom. All right, so presumably all I did was clean it up just enough. If you saw it earlier, it was actually really kind of sketchy on how bad it looked. There you go. So this strap is actually just looped over top. It's actually nice and loose. This piece will fairly easily come out. Let me put that down on the ground now. This bolts back to the motor, but it's actually just held on here. So believe it or not, you can actually just tap this. I've actually already undone those screws. You can tap this a bit, it'll actually come loose here. And the whole piece should come out. So it should be easy to get out. So I'm gonna try that next. And that's it, that's how you remove it. One of the next pieces to remove here is these exhaust flanges. There'll be actually three bolts here. I believe they're each 13 millimeters on either side. They're gonna look like this. They go through here. In between, you'll actually see, zoom in a little bit here. You actually see these gaskets. I believe they're copper, really. I'm going to leave this piece on. Scale back a little bit. I'm gonna leave this piece on, and I'm actually just taking the rear muffler piece off. The reason I'm doing all this is so I can actually get to the chain covers, because I have a couple of oil leaks underneath here, and I think I can get to all of it that way. That is what we got. For better or worse, that is what the muffler looks like when you get it off, or the mufflers, or the exhaust piece. So you can see one of these things is not like the other. This O2 sensor got a little bit of a wrinkle to it. Fortunately, I didn't know or see there is a bolt that holds that one sensor in. So I got everything out except for that. So it got a little ugly. I'll show you where that is. Maybe you can learn from me when you take this apart. There is, you can see that hole right there. Is actually where that wire is threaded, so you can't see it. So I thought I had them all fed through. I did not. I'm guessing I've screwed that up somehow. I probably just wanted to replace the O2 sensors anyway. I don't want this car having any problems after I get it all back together, so I was debating on replacing them. I'll probably just replace them now. Maybe you can learn from me. Yeah, this looks to be about like the last step, so take the muffler off. And then I took off what the hell this cast piece is. It looks like some type of intake. The key is actually really easy. There's no bolts on this side. You can leave the heat shields on. There are 2 bolts there and 4 bolts there. And those 4 bolts actually countersunk and held this into place. So I assume that's part of the intake. It's got a couple different sensors on the side of it, so we just left it in place. But and then behind that, because I wanted to be able to get, it appears the chain covers are still, I can now see them, but still it's going to be a pain. So looks like I got to take off what really looks like the motor mount or the center frame mount here. So and then I should be able to get to that pretty easily, but it'll also open up and give me a chance to get to the belts as well. So I took off that intake piece, I guess, and then the this guy here. Believe it or not, this black piece, which is that looks like the engine shield, was really simple. There's actually after I had taken everything else off, there's only 1 bolt. It was actually down in between here, so very easy to remove. Lucky having a car that only has about 40,000 miles. Now, before I start taking apart the covers here, so I've got I'm going to replace the gaskets here, the gaskets down below, spark plugs, wires. Before I do that though, I don't want any of this stuff falling inside. So what I'm going to do is something I learned while detailing is see how most of this here is kind of scummy. And I'll show you how I started. You can see in here it actually looks relatively better. I'll show you what I do to actually clean this up. Just like when detailing a car, sometimes just the shop vac won't actually pick this stuff up. So what I do simultaneously to the shop vac is I take a couple of detail brushes, and as I'm running the shop vac across, I actually scrub at the different pieces. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and then I'm going to show you what the after looks like and why I feel a little more comfortable opening it up after. This is what it looks like after about, I don't know, 5 minutes. I went over the entire thing. You can see the top of the chain cover. You know, I don't have a lot of debris. I had a lot of dirt and grossness in there. So most of that's gone. Is the grease gone? No. In fact, there's some spots that are actually pretty greasy. But a lot of the scuzz that was in there is actually a lot better. So now I feel okay taking it apart. Last thing I wanted to point out was after I took all of these, well, what are essentially trays off, this is all the crap that hit the floor. That's actually what the floor was clean before I started this. I sweep it up every couple of days. What's neat about that is there's actually a whole bunch of belt fragments that are not off of these belts. It appears that previous owners' belts blew off, and I'm just now going through and picking up the pieces. So another interesting piece. I've been collecting them. Not sure what it was from, but that was something that was rubber. I found probably about 20% more, but some of them got vacuumed up. So that was some type of rubber piece. I'm not sure where that came from, and I can't find the parts that it's missing to, so I'm guessing it was replaced long ago. That's another short episode from the Bearded Garage. Thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.